Parents strongly caution, the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
All right, welcome to round 2 of Sound Injection tonight. We've got Legion with us from Jungle Dream. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I'm doing good.
Fantastic, fantastic. So CB went first the last round. It is now Meg's turn to go first.
It is
Picking
my
on you.
turn.
Yeah, it is
I know
your.
you are. What question should I pick for you guys?
I'm pretty much an open book, so whatever you got, hit me with it.
Okay. What was your... I got it. It's too late on that button. What was your first concert?
My first concert?
First live music act that you went to?
All right, so if you want to get technical, my mom and my dad, while my mom was still, I think I was 8, she was 8 months pregnant with me, went and saw Metallica. And then one of my first real big-time shows, I went to Gigantor 2 in 2006 and saw Megadeth, Lamb of God. And, oh my God, it was phenomenal.
I went to that tour. That was a good show.
I actually got to meet Dave, basically the entire lineup of Megadeth. They were doing meet and greets, and I remember standing in line for the majority of the show, just to actually get to meet Megadeth. I'm still to this day, I'm a huge Megadeth fan.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
All right, CB, you're up.
Excellent. So, do you guys have any new upcoming music coming out, or do you guys have any shows you got going on?
So, new music, yes, actually. And we actually have something very special. It's a cover song. You guys ever seen heard of the band Slam Bamboo? It was a band from the 80s that Trent Reznor was a part of.
No.
I'm the only one that has. The only one that has.
It's a very obscure song, and it's either you have or you haven't heard it. Well, We are actually getting ready to drop August 19th. I don't know if it's going to be on all streaming services, but I definitely know it's going to be on YouTube. So August 19th, we're going to be dropping our cover of House on Fire. And it is definitely one of a passion project. I can definitely say that because me and the other co-founder of the band, B-Man, we love the song, love the band. And not only were him and I able to create something that we absolutely love, but we actually were working with the band themselves, getting their feedback to make sure that this song isn't just up to our standards, but it's something that they can enjoy as well. And that's what we initially told them. We were talking to Tim, the guitarist of the band, and that's what I ended up telling him was, as far as making the song goes, we want it to be up to you guys. We want you guys to love this, and if we know that if you guys love it, then that's all that matters to us. And we've actually, I have screenshots and stuff like that from my conversation with me and between me and him, and he's over the moon for it.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So, if you could only listen to one album and one album only for the rest of your life, what would that album be and why?
Oh, that's not fair.
It's completely fair.
That's not
Our
fair.
show.
And the reason I say that is because there are so many bands and albums out there that are absolutely amazing. Like Blizzard of Oz. Blizzard of Oz is a good album. One of my all-time favorite bands is Static X. And I can listen to, and I know because I've done it, I can listen to every single song that they've ever released from start to finish. And, what am I feeling today? I'll go for Wisconsin Death Trip. Wisconsin Death Trip, Static X. Amazing album. Every song, start to finish, it's absolutely amazing. It's definitely one of those songs one of those albums you don't want to play while driving because you'll end up with a speeding ticket.
Right.
Something that I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
CB, you're up. Or no, Meg. Meg, you're up.
That's me.
Meg. Yes.
You can go if you want to. That's fine.
No, go ahead.
No. So what's the sketchiest venue bathroom you've ever been in? Love this one.
Oh my God. I'm going over all of the venues that we've performed at. Okay, so the first venue we ever performed at, back in 2019, we performed at this place called The Pinch. And it was definitely in a place where you had...
That's kind of appropriate for the topic.
Yeah, it was in the middle of a very bad area. Like you had to lock your... Like they had like curfew signs and stuff.
Wow.
And the venue owners told us straight up, when you're not in your vehicle, lock it. And so, not to mention on top of that, the venue itself was falling apart. Yeah, they said that they were in the middle of doing a remodeling project. No, come to find out, about a year and a half later, they were actually doing a demolition, and they ended up just taking the place out. But
wow.
Yeah, however, it was pretty cool because we got to meet this guy who claimed to be Blelvis, which that was wild.
Like Black Elvis?
Yes.
Okay.
It was. Yeah, it was actually it was the actual Blelvis. But yeah,
This is the first time I've heard of this.
Yeah. Apparently he's a real It was an actual performer. Really nice guy, and he asked, he had a pretty good conversation with him, and then immediately after we got done talking, he asked if any of us had crack. So,
Oh wow, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
What was
yeah.
what
You know
was
what they say-
sketchy about the bathroom?
Like I said, the sketchiest part about it was practically the size of a broom closet. It was really small, really cramped. And the people right outside of it apparently had a very nasty reputation of just jacking people's stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, so we were really lucky about that.
definitely wanted to have a buddy system. Be like, hey, you hold my shit while I shit. And-
Yeah.
Oh my shit.
Hey, can you come in this broom closet and hold my hand?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a line of friendship that you just don't cross. I feel like that's like one of those things that you just don't cross.
I mean, there is such thing. There's dueling toilets,
Look, we are not sword fighting. I love you. You're my brother.
Wait a second. That has nothing to do with sword fighting.
You've never
Dueling
done.
toilets.
We're not
Like
crossing
toilet training.
streams, okay? We're not
Oh my
crossing streams.
lord.
Did we not learn about
Ghostbusters?
crossing streams in Ghostbusters? You don't cross streams.
You've never shared a toilet with somebody. You never taken a shit while your buddy pisses.
No, absolutely not.
A whole different mindset.
Absolutely fucking not.
Oh man.
Tell
All
you
right.
what, it's real intimate.
All right, so if you could go on tour with any three bands of your choice, they cannot say no. Who are you taking on tour with you? It doesn't matter how big, how small, any three bands.
Oh. Ooh. So definitely a tough one. Me personally, I definitely would love to perform with Static X. That's like a huge dream of mine. Yeah, so that would definitely be one of them. Another band that the band itself has gotten real close with is Horror Scene. Horror Scene's definitely up there.
Love Horsine. Big
Oh,
shout out
that name.
to Horsine.
They're fucking awesome. I love those guys. Dan is a fucking sweetheart.
Where's the
And-
button? Do, 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 do.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay.
There we go. There we go.
I will say Static X, Horror Scene, and I've just recently gotten into Decay, and I would love.
Okay, great.
Where did that one come from?
I hit the wrong button.
Oh,
Like, wait, so Decay would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good mix right there.
Yeah, those guys are pretty awesome.
I'm biased. I love Decay, but I also manage them, so I'm
Well, you
completely
have every right to do
You have
biased.
to say yes.
That's fantastic. All right, CB, you are up on deck, my friend.
So, as far as horror films are concerned, what is your favorite?
This one, I got this one cocked, locked, and ready to go. I have this one sitting on all time. The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Okay.
The original Nightmare on Elm Street. Everything about it, I love it. Love the sound. Love the acting in it. Everything about it is awesome. Huge Freddy fan. Definitely a Fred head. I've actually, believe it or not, that's actually how I met my wife. Was
Aw.
I
So
really
cute.
wanted to. So as you can tell, the mask that I got on, I made it. I make props, masks, and all this other stuff. 90% of all of the band's masks were made by me.
Yeah.
And one of my earliest projects that I did was from scratch I made my own Freddy glove. In no way, shape, or form is it perfect, but for my first attempt at one, working with metal, my first real big project, and I spent countless hours, countless nights staying up working on it. And I actually cut the knives out by hand, which was a stupid idea. But I was in this Facebook thing, and I was I was showing people the glove and everything, showing how I made it and everything, and that's how me and her started talking. Was we actually just started talking naturally, and then over time it just developed into an actual friendship, and then the longer it has the longer that we were talking, the more it just evolved into an actual romantic relationship, and then we started dating, and here we are, going on 7 years. 7 years now. 7 years.
Congratulations.
Yep.
You did much better than me because when I was a kid, I did love Freddy Krueger. I remember taking a gardening glove, my grandparents' old gardening glove, and duct taping straws to the fucking ends of the fingers to make my own fucking glove.
My mom used to do that to me as well. We actually used to live about a block because I'm not from Delaware. I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
And one of the places that we lived at about a block away was this movie store, and we would go there every week and we would rent movies. So by the time I was, I'd say about 8, I had seen all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies at the time, all the Friday the 13th, Child's Play movies. I'm a huge horror fan, and I actually have my mom to thank for that. And as you can see, it's kind of incorporated a little itself.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a bonus question out there. To you, what is the most underrated horror movie out there?
Ooh, underrated horror movies.
And it's most importantly, it's gotta be from the 80s.
Oh,
damn.
Let's throw a curveball.
An 80s horror movie.
Yep, the most underrated 80s horror film.
The 1988 version of The Blob with Kevin Dillon.
Fuck. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that. Okay.
Someone knows their horror.
That movie is amazing. I mean, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but then again, that's also gotten it. I wouldn't really say it's underrated. That's gotten a lot of popularity over the last couple of years. But yeah, one thing I never really see from is anybody talking about that movie in particular. The movie is amazing. The special effects are phenomenal. Just the way how they go about it, especially with the whole aspect that that the creature is not alien in nature. If you haven't seen it, didn't mean to spoil it for you, but yeah, it's one of my. I have a really really good soft spot for that movie. That's one of my favorite obscure horror movies from the 80s.
See, mine is Tourist Trap. If nobody's ever seen Tourist Trap,
that's a good one. That's
fucking unsettling. So if you get a chance, why it's free on Tubi. So download Tubi, watch Tourist Trap. It is one of my top 25 fucking favorite movies, and
you gotta
it
be
is
careful on Tubi.
Yeah, when it comes to horror movies, I've said this for years, that when it comes to horror movies and horror movie villains, any creature, monster, person that goes after kids, like the Grabber and Black Phone, Freddy Krueger, it's just the ultimate sign of pure evil, considering that children are supposed to be the picture of innocence. And for something as evil to deliberately target children, it's just the sign of pure evil, just unfiltered, unadulterated evil. And it's just something like, even today, when you hear about somebody that that, has, hypothetically speaking, killed somebody, sometimes it goes under the radar unless it's a kid, and then everybody gets all in an uproar. And rightfully so. But, when it comes to horror movies or something like that, that's just the ultimate way to distinguish whether or not something is pure evil. And, it goes back to the Blob, for instance. There actually is a scene in the movie where the Blob eats a kid. But what makes this thing so uniquely distinct from other things like Freddy and that is basically it's not thinking. It's just acting on instinct. Its whole premise, its whole purpose for existence is to eat and get bigger. For the whole movie, they essentially call it a space germ, and that's what its whole primary goal is: eat, get bigger, eat, get bigger. And
Fair enough.
yeah,
All right, fair enough. All right, Meg, you are up on deck.
So what keeps you hungry creatively? Like what keeps that fire burning to keep creating and not just kind of bleh?
my passion for it. Music is very, I don't want to say genetic, because that just seems very bizarre to say. But in my case,
blood, man.
do what?
It's in your blood.
Yes, and I will I can actually actively say that. So my dad is a musician. My dad was a drummer. He's actually, you hand him an instrument, I guarantee you he can play it. My mom, singer, she dabbles with the keys. My grandfather, my biological grandfather on my dad's side, he was a musician. And here's something that I actually have never really gone public to, but so you guys are gonna be the first people that I actually interview wise that I've actually said this to. My uncle is the lyrical, one of the founding members of the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he did Intelligence and Violence. He was the lyrical.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it really is in your blood. That's awesome.
Finding out all kinds of shit.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of shit. So, as far as playing shows, what is one of the most important things that you've learned going into putting on a live production?
One of the things that I have learned, definitely stretch.
Yoga, baby, yoga. Shout out DDP Yoga, sponsor us.
So for any, this goes to basically not just something my dad told me, and it just goes out to every aspiring musician or whatever, and bands that are starting out. I asked my dad at my very first show, and these words, they echo through my head every time I'm getting ready to perform. I asked my parents for advice because, like I said, they've done shows for years. They were part of a really successful, I would say successful loosely, but they were part of a really good cover band in the early 2000s in the Delaware area. And so I asked my dad, I was like, so if you have, I need advice. Do you have anything for me? And he goes, yeah. He goes, you're not Motley Crue. You're not Judas Priest. You're just some bunch of no-namers from Delaware. Your whole reason for being there is entertainment. So just get your ass out there and do whatever it takes. Get their attention and entertain. And more importantly, have fun. If you're having fun, the crowd will sense that. They'll pick up on your vibes, and then they themselves are having fun. But you got to keep their attention. And I do, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but I am pretty good at doing that. I've jumped on tables. I've walked across bars. I've climbed on top of, I say that loosely, but I've climbed on pipes and rafters and stuff like that. I don't want to use contortion as, because I don't really consider myself a contortionist, but
Yoga.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can stretch really good. I do a lot of theatrics when I'm performing, so I vomit blood. I dump
I'm
blood all
glad.
over me.
I'm glad you brought that up because we actually have an audio audience question from Sarah in Connecticut. How important is theatrics in heavy metal?
How important is it? Oh, that's actually a really good question. Me personally, I love it. Um, it's definitely something that gets people out of people's attention. Um, in the earlier years of Jungle Dream, before I kind of toned my performances down, I used to rip my intestines out. I took a page out of Guar's book. But I love
Yeah.
bands like Guar, Kiss. I've seen Alice Cooper, and they are, their theatrics and stuff like that is just amazing because you're not just going there listening to music. You're going there to actually see a performance. You're going there to see just the most off the wall stuff, and it's absolutely amazing. Like getting to see Alice Cooper in the Guillotine was chef's kiss in
Oh yeah.
performances. I've seen Rammstein, and they're the kings of pyrotechnics.
And the kings of giant penises.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I forgot what song it was when I saw them, but they Till rode out on this giant dick cannon and basically just peppered the crowd in white confetti.
Oh man.
It was awesome.
I have to remember that dick cannon. That is new terminology.
It was. I mean, that's the only way I could describe it. It was basically a tank with a dick cannon. That's the best way. But yeah, theatrics, I love them. I love them.
Okay, fair enough. I know for me, like a lot of the bands that I really love that I really got deep into were theatrical. That's one of the things that caught me about Ghost. So I remember I had never heard of Ghost before, and I seen them live. And I'd never heard their music, didn't know anything about them. And I seen them live, and seeing them live instantly made me a huge fan. And of course, if I go through some of my favorite bands, they're all theatrical bands. Every damn one of them.
Look at the shirt that you're wearing, Legion.
Yeah,
Token.
Complete
Super
Token.
theatrical.
Yeah, Mushroomheads. Mushroomhead's another one. We actually, believe it or not, we actually perform with both Green Jello, another theatrical band. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Bill Mann speaker, such a fucking sweetheart. But our fourth or fifth show we did, we actually opened for Mushroomhead. And that's actually around the time we debuted our masks and everything. I was wearing something completely different than this one, but actually at that show, me and Brandon had basically got Stitch. He's now with Killer's Confession. They're doing the X Faces now. He actually gave us their blessing, his blessing, I should say, to be a mask band. He said, as long as you're not trying to rip off, trying to say you're us, do the same stuff that we're doing. Mass metal bands have been a thing for years. There was a band before, and that's one thing that a lot of Slipknot fans, because with being a mass band, you get that, you get that a lot. AJ Good from the House of Mask. They even there was a band called Colosseum, I think is what it was. They did a song called Smile, and just their sound and everything. He was basically calling them porn ripoff, which it's okay. Like me personally. It's all right to drive inspiration from bands, and this is something very similar to what Stitch Richard is what his name is. What Stitch said to me was, as long as you do your own thing and don't try to copy us, there's not going to be any problems between us, you guys, or the fans in general. But we did a show back in February, and just for shits and giggles, we actually covered a Mushroomhead song. And right before we performed it, I said, we are self-aware and we know what we're doing. So, yeah. And then we just went straight into Psychosocial.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. All right, CB, you're up.
So, what is one of the hardest things that you've had to learn on your journey into music?
Oh. One of the hardest things that I've had to learn is getting comfortable with myself. I'll, and this also goes towards the same people, the people who are starting out, bands that are starting out and everything. Do not worry under any circumstances what people are going to think of your vocals, your sound, your style, what you do, how you sound. Don't worry about all of that, because regardless, there are people that are going to, there are going to be people that like you. And that's, I've told myself that for years, and there's still that little shred of doubt that just resides in the back of my head that it's like, they're not going to like this, they're not going to like this. And when you figure out how to tune that voice out and just tell it to fuck off, it it definitely helps. I'm not the best singer in the world. I'm nowhere close to it. My main vocal style I do is harsh vocals, and when I do cleans, it's very. When I actually succeed in doing cleans, me and Brandon's pitch is pretty much, our pitch is pretty much matched. And the House on Fire cover that we're doing is actually one of the first songs that I've actually recorded cleans on, and you can barely tell the difference between me and Brandon. It actually just sounds like one unit, but it has taken me well over 10 years in general just to get comfortable with my own voice. To be able to basically be the best me that I can. To quote basically our song "Stitch Me," build the better me that I want to be. And the best way to do that musically is just to get comfortable with yourself.
All right.
All right. Fantastic. All right, Meg, you're up.
So, if there was a zombie apocalypse of the Walking Dead variety, what would be your path to surviving? What will be your tactic?
Now I have a question to your question. Am I aware of the same things from The Walking Dead, like how they were able to rub the zombie blood on them and be able to?
Just went down.
That sounds like semi-sexual, just a little bit.
So it just went down, and it's the same kind of zombies. What are you doing to first survive?
Definitely,
oh
definitely shelter, food, well, protection obviously, but shelter, food, and means to protect my people.
All right. Would you travel, or would you just kind of stay in the same spot and try to do the best you could?
Depending on the circumstances. I think what they did in The Walking Dead because I did watch the show up until, what season was it when Glenn died?
I don't know. He wasn't even supposed to die. He didn't die in the comic book as a completely different character, which is what fucked my shit up, and I quit watching it because they fucking lied. That's not who died that way.
Oh my god!
God damn it!
Oh, that scene. So when I watched that episode, I actually watched it with somebody who was a diehard fan.
Well, I was a big reader of the comic book, and I'm like, that's not who died that way, you motherfuckers, and I quit watching it.
When Negan busted Glenn in the head and his eye popped out, she was sitting there just sobbing, and I was like, holy shit! Do it again. I wasn't looking.
For those of you, spoiler alert, the one that actually died that way in the comic book was Abraham, not Glenn.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not Glenn who died that way in the comic book, but they fucking decided to change it for whatever fucking reason, And that's exactly why they lost a lot of like your diehard comic book fans. They lost it at that moment, which is why I stopped watching it because I was like, yep, nope, done.
Jeez.
I'm done. Done at that point. All right. So, next question. If you could, speaking of the living dead, if you could dig up any musician and spend 24 hours with them learning everything they know about the music industry, who would you spend that day with and why?
It's not, and a lot of that reason for that is because I love music, and a lot of musicians that I grew up listening to. For Ozzy, for instance, Ozzy, I actually have. I'm trying to get it. Yeah, I got the Ozzy Stickman on my my right arm. I also have the Static X logo, and both Wayne Static and Ozzy are huge influences in my life. It's definitely a toss up between those two. I know that if my bassist was on here, he would say Paul Gray because Paul Gray was the whole reason he got
That's
into playing
mine.
bass. Chester Bennington, that's another one. Chester was absolutely amazing, taken from us way too fucking early. Man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Wayne Static because as awesome as it would be to get to talk to Ozzy, I feel like and even though I don't have a problem with it, I feel like a lot of him talking would be very hard to understand. Would be a
little bit of a linguistic adventure for you.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But you never know. I might actually be in the same boat and be able to understand him perfectly crystal clear. There's actually an interview where he's talking and it's just all and he goes, "Oh yeah," and he completely the interviewer word for word repeated everything he said. He goes, "Oh my God, you can fucking understand me." I think it was Edward Grant. I think that's what it was.
All right, fair enough. All right, CB, you're up on deck, my friend.
So, if you could put a random musical instrument into your band for any music continuing or for an individual song, what would that be?
There's a couple. There's actually a couple. So this little snippet of information is also somewhat kind of not yet known to the public, but we are currently in the process of working on new music. Brandon, B-Man, I'm going to switch between calling him that. But Brandon, me and him are essentially the co-founders of Jungle Dream. And a lot of the earlier stuff and some of the newer stuff, I don't know what it is recently, but him and I have just been like, just pumping out new stuff like that. And one of the songs that we're currently working on has a theremin in it. Theremin is one instrument. Theremin is an instrument that I think would be really cool to actually use. I'm not going to say turntables or anything like that because that's so. At this point, it's the same thing as a backing track, and eventually it would be cool to get that stuff. But as of right now, not really too pressed on that. Banjo would actually be really cool. There's actually a band that I've been getting into called Go Hang, and they actually they use banjos and stuff. Well, the main singer, he plays banjo. He's actually got a couple acoustic banjo albums, I think, and it's amazing. And I'm not really big for acoustic stuff, but for some odd reason, just angry acoustic metal banjo is awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
And they're called Go Hang.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just if you have to have some level of a warped perspective to listen to them. Like one of their songs is called Allah's Plan. Another one is called Quran. That's actually a really, really good one. I would recommend listening to Allah's Plan, the banjo version. That's actually really good. And for Quran, either version. But both. But if you listen to both, just the regular banjo version or the actual full band version, you're in for a treat either way. Both really good. It's what he describes themselves as is industrial folk metal.
Okay.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but all right.
I didn't either, but the dude that band is they're really good.
All right. Well, fucking
Flagman's another band that's also good.
dude, I love Flagman. I have been listening to shit out of Flagman, and I want them on the show so fucking bad. I love I'm a big Primus fan. I love Les Claypool and I love Primus, and that's what they remind me of is fucking Primus.
Yeah, Champagne and Roses. That's a really awesome song. Same with You're Really Lucky. This Isn't a Real Gun, I think is what it's called. It's one of those really long titles, but that's really good. That's like Primus meets Nine Inch Nails. It's really good, and that's one of my dream bands that I want to perform with is Flagman.
Yeah, I love fucking Flagman. I know we've reached out to them, so hopefully they'll come on the show at some point. But we do love them. All right, so if you had the chance to go on a worldwide tour and take any 3 bands of your choice, doesn't matter how big or how small, who would you take?
Oh. So I already know it off the top of my head. And
they can't say no. No money involved. They have to do it.
I already have this. This is another one of those ones that I've had basically ready to go. So I believe I said it earlier. But you know, we're cool with Horror Scene, and I've had, you know, me and Dan, we've had conversations on doing a show with us, them, and Kissing Candace. And I've even pitched the idea of the show name, the Blood, Violence, and Freaks of Nature Tour. That is definitely
I love it's kind of funny because a lot of people don't know about Kissing Candace, which I wish they would. But I have interviewed Kissing Candace like 3 times in my career. And that band is fucking phenomenal. And the shit, the theatrics, everything they bring is just fucking out there. It's just out there.
I have been lucky enough to perform with them twice. Once in Allentown, PA, and the second time they actually went on after us when we performed with Green Jello. And hearing, you know, getting... Sorry, I'm trying to think of whether or not I should use his... Because I'm not sure if he likes to go by his real name or his...
Don't use her real name.
Auntie Donna. Auntie Donna. Getting to meet Auntie Donna was awesome, and getting his feedback, her feedback, getting their feedback from us about us was really, really cool. And what was really cool was when we performed with when we did the Green Jello show, Donna was basically standing off stage watching the entire performance and everything, and it was just so fucking badass. And the fact that, like I said, we performed with them twice, and at that time it was the second time we had performed with them. But hanging out with them backstage, you know, they clearly remembered my name and everything. And my daughter is a huge fan, huge Kissing Candace fan, and they dedicated Mirrors to her because that's her favorite song by them. He even let her basically be right up on the stage. He told her that if she wanted to, she could be on the side stage and watch them, but she didn't want to be on the side stage. She wanted to be right up front in the crowd. So I took her on the other side of the barrier, and So he got to watch her basically sing every single song, and god damn, they know how to bring it. I can tell you what, they're ass kicking.
Yep, they definitely are. They definitely are. All right, CB, you're up.
So, going back into a question from previous episodes, does pineapple belong on pizza?
You motherfucker.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yep.
I'm judging.
Me personally, I don't eat pineapple on pizza.
I win.
But just hear me out. But that doesn't say that I won't eat it. I'm indifferent to it. I don't really care whether it's on it or not. My aunt actually, she eats pineapple on her pizza, and granted, it is an acquired taste, but I'm not going to say I don't like it. It's just one of those things that I just don't really care.
Man, this is it, man. You gotta do this because it'll change your life. Well, he won't fucking try it, but first off, you got to get it from Domino's. Sponsor us, by the way.
God damn
Secondly, you got to do extra sauce.
Okay.
That's like the very first thing. Any pizza you get from Domino's, extra sauce.
Yeah.
And you do the pineapple, you do the Canadian bacon, you do bacon, and you do jalapenos.
Okay. I think you might have won me over.
We see the vision.
I think you might have won me over. My go-to thing is and more likely if I'm going to Domino's, this is exactly the same thing I'm getting. I'm going to get a regular pepperoni pizza with extra sauce. That is my main go-to thing. And
We're all a bunch of saucy bitches up in here.
Yeah, you
I'm a
got
very
to have the
saucy
extra sauce. The
The extra
extra
sauce
sauce
makes
is
it.
everything. It's everything.
Hell yeah.
Trust me. He didn't believe me till I told him. I said, get extra sauce. You got to have the extra sauce or it's not the same. And now he can't even eat goddamn pizza without the extra sauce. Told him. It's everything. But the Hawaiian, the way I do it, one of my staples, but the other one is pepperoni, mushrooms, and black olives.
pepperoni, angry peppers, mushrooms, olive chives.
Telling you. It's it. All right, Meg, you're up on deck.
So what is the most chaotic show that you have performed?
Oh, one of the most
Craziest
chaotic.
shit was going down. Yeah. Crowd was crazy, fans are crazy.
I'm about to burn some fucking bridges.
Oh, no.
I'm about to burn the
We're
bridges.
okay with that here.
I got both the gas and the matches for this one.
Okay.
So, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any names for specific reasons.
These nuts.
Yep. There's a guy. His I'll just give you his first name. His name is Zach. I call him Cat. But so, and this stems for years. Have you ever he has a very nasty habit of not paying people.
Okay. That's
Oh,
like
that's
90%.
Us included. As a matter of fact, the last show he asked us to do, I basically gave him the fuck you clause. I gave him this absurd number. I was like, look, man, if you want us to perform at this show, you got to give us this much up front. And I told him, I was like, I'm not selling no tickets, and this is how much money we want up front. And I knew he wasn't going to do it. But, yeah, so he actually we did the show with Casket Robbery. We were supporting them. And you can ask Megan if you've ever talked to her, and she will validate this claim, because I was standing right next to her. I was actually getting ready to leave, and I overheard the commotion and everything, and that's what made me realize that this guy was an asshole, and that made me realize how much money he actually owes us. And it sucks. It sucks but unfortunately, money is what a lot of things revolve around. And I believe they're from Wisconsin. So from them coming from Wisconsin all the way to Maryland, the money is very validated. So first of all, he booked the show. He couldn't even bother showing up. So he sent one of his friends. And God bless him. God bless him so fucking much for putting up with this. But so at the end of the night, as per usual, they were expecting to get paid. We were told that if a certain amount of people showed up, that we would get paid. So, we didn't really expect us to get paid to begin with, because of how obscene the amount was. Now, come to find out, all the bands were supposed to get paid, and only one band got paid, and it wasn't the one that was supposed to be there.
Wow.
And so as we were leaving, Megan is practically going off on this guy, going, I don't know what's going on with him, but he needs to fucking give us our money, or he'll be in contact with our lawyer, because this is ridiculous. We drove all this way. We were promised this amount of money. And, if we were close, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But we're not even from this state. And this money is what's going to get us to our next show. We wouldn't have agreed to do this show had it not been for the money. It's rightfully so. And yeah, so come to find out, then a lot of this guy's dirty laundry came out, that apparently, as opposed to paying the bands he was supposed to, he was actually taking loans, and he was in debt. But apparently he was spending money on Pokemon cards and shit like that, as opposed to paying his acts. He actually recently just got into some serious hot water for a show that he did. And for those listening who know, he was advertising the show that he had set up with A Job for a Cowboy. Only thing is Job for a Cowboy wasn't aware they were doing a show for Zachy Poo. And
wow.
So all these people were paying money to this supposed friend of ours, Zachy, and needless to say, it got out, and when people were demanding refunds, his response was, "Well, sucks to suck."
Wow.
That's normal. That's normal. All right. So on that, CB, you get the last question before we get into the questions about the music video.
So what is a goal of you guys, where you guys want to get to? It could be like a venue or country you want to play in. What's a goal of your guys's?
I can actively tell you a goal of mine is to never play in Brazil.
Never play in Brazil. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Oh, those spiders are
why?
fucking huge.
Oh,
Those spiders are massive. Same with Australia. Australia, you guys are wild. It's like the real life
You're going to live
Pokemon.
Australian too.
Yeah, those spiders own houses.
Yeah. They pay taxes.
Yeah, they pay taxes. They drive cars. They're practically neighbors. Those things are massive. But on a more serious note, are definitely a goal of mine. I do want to tour. I would love to tour. Granted, the idea scares me, but at the same time, because I don't want to be away from my family for long periods of time. I gotta. Both me and my daughter are on the autism spectrum, and I know for a fact it would break her heart for me to not be here for extended periods of time. But between her and my wife, they're my biggest fan. My daughter shows her friends my music all the time and everything, and but I definitely would love to tour. As far as going across the pond, that's a different story. That would be cool. But right now, my main focus is getting us to a spot where we actually, where we tour around America. That'd be really cool.
Okay.
All right, fair enough. So going into it, everybody knows that we always play a music video at the end. We have the music video for Are You Saved? So let's go into a little bit about what the song is about and what went into the creation of the music video.
Okay. So, Are You Saved? Despite what the video is about, the song has absolutely nothing to do with the music video. Are You Saved is actually about the Punisher, one of my favorite anti-heroes in the Marvel universe. I love the Punisher movie.
We love Marvel here. We love Marvel here.
John Bernthal, right? That's the one who plays it in the MCU. Yeah. It took a minute, but he's grown on me. I love his performance of him. Thomas Jane, Ray Stevenson, God rest his soul. Even Dolph Lundgren. Anything Punisher wise, I love it. Love it. So like I said, when it came to writing the song, that's essentially what it's about. It's about the Punisher. Even the choruses, crime will fall to the skull. As far as the music video goes, we partnered up with X Brand Wrestling a couple years ago. We actually did their theme song, Ultra Violent, which is another one that's got it's somewhat of a music video. And both were put together by the owner of X Brand, Justin. And yeah, so a lot of it was footage for the Are You Saved music video. He was doing that was the title of the event that he was doing, Are You Saved? So he took a bunch of clips and highlights and stuff to it from us performing to a lot of the events. And just let me just tell you, that day in of itself was wild. I got to go through a windshield. That was really cool. I got light bars smashed on me. That was cool. Yeah, needless to say, a lot of my antics that I do while I'm performing is just absolutely wild and chaotic. And the day of that show, when we performed, we knew we had to be, one step above. Our bassist, the Thing, he smashed his he was having problems with one of his basses, and he smashed it. And I took that motherfucker, and I was beating it against the car that I went through. I jumped through I jumped through the windshield. I tried to go completely through it, but I got about halfway through it. I actually used it as a seat. That was pretty cool. I had my wife smash this giant. I think it was maybe I think it was a 10-foot light bar. And if you've never had those smashed on you, I would highly recommend you get one of those fluorescent tube bulbs smashed on you at least once. Does the body good.
Okay.
I actually have a really nice scar on my elbow that constantly looks like I can't even see if yeah, I'm not gonna bother looking for it. But when I noticed it, I'm like, man, how did I get that? Oh yeah, that's from the light bar. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff for the video was all shots and clips from the different matches and some of the performances and stuff. And I can actively say, going back earlier, I do incorporate a lot of theatrics. And when we debuted the song, the opening line in the song is "Ashes to asses, gas cans and matches." It's me paying homage to Mushroomhead. They have a song called "Almost Gone," and that's one of the lines in one of the song. I think it's J-Man. It's either J-Man or Waylon that sings it. But the opening line, like I said, to "Are You Saved" is a reference pretty much a nod to Mushroom Head. And when we went to debut it, that's the first thing I said was ashes to ashes, gas cans and matches. And I had this gas can with me, and it was filled to the top with blood. And I wish they would have gotten it in the video, but I don't know. Nobody was filming it at the time except for me. I live stream all of our performances. And I took this fucking gas can, and I just dumped it, and it got everywhere, and it got in my eyes, it got in my mouth, which I spit it up anyway, so I'm used to the taste of that stuff by now. But I'm definitely not used to it getting in my eyes. And if you've ever gotten stage blood in your eyes, which this is the stuff that I use right here, if you've ever gotten this shit in your eyes, let me just tell you, it burns. It burns so bad. And
You can
so, like,
make no tear version.
You're right.
so yeah, definitely don't recommend getting that in your eyes. But at the end of the performance, I couldn't tell what was real blood and what was fake.
Shit. All right. Fair enough. So on that, for anybody that's watching, please make sure you do check out Jungle Dream on all their social media accounts. Hit that fucking follow button. Share the shit out. If you see them at a local show, go to a local show. Buy a damn t-shirt on that. Here's the music video for Are You Safe? And we will see you guys in another hour with Heteromorphic Zoo. We love you guys. Have a great night.
This next song, first time it's ever been played. This is Are You Saved?